rise for the playing of our national anthem and remain standing for the alma mater. You may sing along with either or both.
Good evening and welcome to the high school portion of tonight's band concert. Thank you so much for coming out this busy time of year and sharing some time with us. We hope you enjoy it. It is my pleasure this time to leave the podium and relinquish it to our student teacher this semester, Mr. William Landon. It's been a real pleasure having him here. The kids have enjoyed his company. They've learned a lot. They've grown as musicians, and they managed to make him laugh. They also gave him a nickname by day 3, which was a good sign. We'll save that story for another time. And I'll let Mr. Landon talk about his piece, the Flourish for Wind Band, but at this time, come on out, Mr. Landon.
Thank you. Woo, okay. So, like you said, I'm William Landon. I just graduated from Messiah College, and this last semester I've had the pleasure to work with your students every day pretty much. It's been awesome. This first piece is called Flourish for Wind Band by Raphael Williams. It's a traditional English band piece written in the late 18th, early 1900s. It kind of set up a broad characteristic for the English band sound and started legitimizing indoor concert band repertoire. For this particular piece, Mr. Richardson and I decided to kind of reseat the band, meaning, if you usually play third clarinet, put you on first and some things like that, so that the younger students have an opportunity to be in leadership roles before the seniors leave, kind of preparing them for next year. And they've done a really great job, and I'm excited for you guys to hear this.
There we go. A few notes about this piece, pun intended. This next work is a substantive milestone for us. I do not normally pick repertoire like this. It is a short symphony for band. I like larger works like suites because if something happens, we can drop a movement, we can select movements to begin with, we don't have to perform the whole thing. But when I decided to do this in February, which is also late for me to decide to do something of this caliber, I spoke with the students and we voted on it, and I heard their feedback and their concerns, and we're gonna do it anyway. And it's gonna be pretty great. I would encourage you to read the program notes. I did not want to read at you, but the notes are in the front cover of the score. I had them reprinted in the program so you could kind of understand where the composer was coming from when he wrote this. David Meslenka, the composer, passed away last summer. They just premiered his final symphony in March, and it was amazing. But his son was at the premiere, Matt Meslenka, and he said that his father would always say that if you can find a moment of peace and breathe, the world has a chance. And if you read David's inspiration for this work, there's a little bit of that in there. As to the music education element, this is fantastic writing for band. There's something here for everybody. To borrow a phrase from the business world, to be successful, you not only have to have the right people on the bus, but those people need to be in the right seat. And the band has found their seats. I'm hoping it's going to be really great, and I hope you enjoy it. I would like to acknowledge a few things before we do that. Christian Gingrich on string bass is not the program because I wasn't sure we'd be able to get him here. He's really in demand, but he's able to fit us into his schedule, so he's going to be playing along with us. And I also wanted to acknowledge there's a fleet of soloists in this, and I'll acknowledge all of them at the end, but I did want to acknowledge Dan Little on piano. He's our tenor saxophone, one of our tenor saxophone players, and one of the linchpins in being able to do this was to have a killer piano player, and you're gonna hear why at various points throughout. So, without further ado, David Meslenka, Give Us This Day.
And now, Mr. Landon.
Up next, we have the first of two percussion-only pieces. The way the scheduling works for band is first period we have mostly just the winds, and third period we have all the percussionists, which is about 30 students. Usually it's not this way. Usually the percussionists are in the same period as band, but having this percussionist in a separate class gives us a chance to really work on percussion-specific skills because it's so different than the performance of wind instruments. And since we have this time, we get to dig into percussion-only pieces, percussion ensemble repertoire, to really hone those skills with both the mallets and the battery all together coming as one. And it kind of gives percussionists a chance to do more melodic things and explore the melodic nature of rhythm rather than just something that you would play on a wind instrument. So this is our chance to do that. So the first piece is called Meltdown by Brian Bailey.
Before we move on to our next percussion ensemble collection, I did want to take a moment to acknowledge a group of students. For those of you not in the know, we have a competitive indoor drum line that works from late November all the way through their championships in May. And to make a very short version of a very long story, we crushed it. And for the first time in over a decade, we won our division, and that win came at over 2 points. And to put that in perspective, for those of you not in the competitive marching art scene, most decisions like that are made by 2/10 or maybe half a point. So to win your division by 2 points is crazy pants, and that includes the third of a point penalty that we absorbed to maintain the 2-point lead. So if I could have all the indoor percussion students stand, or if you're already standing, wave at the audience. And this will be our second percussion ensemble tune, Hidden Dreams.
Hello again. Up next we have Bayou Breakdown by Brant Carrick. Bayou Breakdown is based off of kind of this writing style of J.S. Bach, who, like, you know, he's a pretty important guy in music. And if you don't know what a fugue is basically multiple melodies happening at the same time, and they all sound good together. So basically what he did was take the idea of Bach's fugue and fuse it with melodic ideas from like New Orleans, so there's kind of like some jazz influence here, and it sounds really cool. It's also really hard. Yeah, I played this in college, and so it's like a college level piece, and they have not only done Maslanka on this concert, but also this, which really I think speaks to how hardworking they are, and I really appreciate the opportunity to work with them. It's been an incredibly valuable experience for me, and just working with such amazing people that put forth so much work in and out of the band room, and they're great people and great musicians, so thanks for you know, having awesome kids for me to work with. This is Bayou Breakdown.
Our next group, Selections from the Dancerie, comes from an original text from 1551 from the pen of Tieleman Susato, composer from the time of Shakespeare that wrote these songs down, and they managed to survive for hundreds of years. And it's a great opportunity. Songs like Give Us This Day and Miss Lank are great for showing off technique and lots of other things. But what I like about these Renaissance works is the arranger did a really fantastic job of emphasizing something really important from the Renaissance, which was there were bands, but they weren't bands like this. You would typically have ensembles of like instruments, so recorders, high, middle, low, lutes, ancestors of the oboe and ancestors of the trumpet, but they would play together in groups of like instruments. And the composer did the same thing. So those instruments were pretty basic. They couldn't play all 12 notes in the chromatic scale. They could play one scale, and you were in that key, and that was it. So you'll hear that in the piece. The melody keeps coming back, and it's ornamented with extra notes and new rhythms, but the melody itself fundamentally doesn't change, but it gets passed around the ensemble, and different consorts, as they were called, take over. So the saxophones might play by themselves, the clarinets might play by themselves, the woodwinds might play by themselves, but you can hear all these melodies get passed around to different groups as the tunes go on. So we hope you enjoy music from the time of kings and queens and Shakespeare, selections from the Dancerie. I have a few things before our last very short number. On your way out, in the center display case is our banner, which is our trophy from Wildwood Atlantic Coast Championships. If you want to stop and check that out, beside that banner is Ms. Kelly Williamson selling tickets for our booster fundraiser if you want to see her on your way out. I would also like to take a moment to draw your attention. On the back of the program is the description of some of the band awards that I hand out, and I wanted to take a minute and have those people stand and be recognized, so if they could do that at this time, that'd be great. I know Chantanel's on her way out anyway. You can wave. Yeah, and Colin, yes, all right, perfect. And I would also like all of the seniors at this time to please rise. I'd like to take a quick moment to thank them for their time and their service, and hope they have found it, even if they don't know it now, hopefully positively life-changing and at least enjoyable. It's been many years of your life that you've put into school music, and hope it has brought joy to you and friends, and hopefully knowledge that you can use out there in the world. I wish you all the best in college or work or the off year, whatever you're doing when you leave here. But good luck, be careful out there, and enjoy the journey. Congratulations. You may be seated. A quick note to the parents of seniors, congratulations. Good job. They're great kids. You did awesome. I can only hope mine are half as great when they get here. And I don't want to miss anybody, tickets, award winners, seniors, and that's it. I was told Ms. Chantanel Dillon has something quick. Sure, and I was told Hutch and Mr. Landon should make their way to the stage at this time.
Yeah, I'll go quick and sleep. All right. So as a senior class, we wanted to show our gratitude for three of the most influential people, not only musically, but personally. Mr. Landon came into our band, barely able to talk, all the way to the back row. Now, at our last concert together, he has no problem yelling at us whenever we're talking too much. So thank you for directing us and also being your friend. The main reason I have note cards is because of this man over here. Don't want to carry on. The next person we would like to thank is Mr. Hutch. He's been by our side for a while now, almost as long as his speeches, and we're still learning new things continuously from him through internships and marching band. Thank you for always pushing us to where you know we are capable of. If you go back to last year, the previous seniors explained why we all call Mr. Richardson Dad. Not only is it a shorter name, but every day he comes to school and treats us all as if we were his own. He guided us through difficult pieces like Give Us This Day, which a lot of us thought we could not do, and he always finds time to crack dad jokes. So to say thanks, the seniors put together a collage for our faces to be remembered as much as we'll remember your impact in our lives.
Thank you very much. That's very nice. Thomas. All right. Most of these are senior pictures, and there's one of Tom Freeburn in our new marching band uniform prototype doing a really rad salute. You weren't supposed to wear them. We're going to close with a march. Thank you.